Hi, this is Dana, and on this channel I speak about spiritual warfare. I have another channel on astrology, and I have a Facebook page on which I write prophetic writings, and I invite you to read those. You find that in the description box below. Of course, there's the usual caveat, namely, please be discerning. God says discerning, not worried, not concerned, but discerning. There are individuals who are copying my energy, who are impersonating me, copycats, doppelgangers, and so on. Please be mindful and make sure that you don't engage with anyone and you don't give them opportunity to create strings with you. As always, please cut strings after you finish watching my video and cleanse your energy. Now, in this video, God has guided me to talk about one topic which I don't know to whom is addressed. I would guess probably that particularly is for those who are doing spiritual fighting and bondage breaking, in order for them to understand some of the decisions made by the divine realm, or about divine timing mostly, how it comes about, and why it doesn't come faster. Basically, I will just give some examples instead of giving just a definition of it. God has a certain dynamic between and a relationship between himself and the karmics. And I guess this is how I will entitle this video, yeah? Because of course God works with you to break bondage, yeah, but God has to also manage the process with the dynamic with the karmics as well, yeah, in the justice making, and even recovering some of them into repentance, or simply documenting the punishment that they deserve, you know. But in any case, what you must understand is that, and I have seen this many times because I had many times discussions with God, and I was very frustrated. I was like, why you allowed this? Why you allowed this? How could you stand by and watch them stealing from me and lying on me and creating all these fake things? And throughout time, God has shown me slowly, gradually. He showed me, and I noticed myself in my own relation with God, that it's also not only troublesome but hurtful to God as well to see this being done against us, such deep injustice. With these greedy people who steal, who do so much harm, and not only on to you or me, but also using our energy to do so much harm to so many others, you know. So of course, when you break the bondage and the judgment time comes and punishments and so on, that's a time when I will never say that God takes revenge on people or individuals or whoever, but he will draw a line, and he will make sure that there are certain things which take place, certain deep understandings, and certain balancing. If you have been humiliated in your spiritual fighting, and this most often happens to all of us, because this is part of their strategy of persecution and humiliation, hoping to break your spirit. Yeah, this is part of the psychological warfare. God will make sure that they will feel that. I have seen God, because when I got to the end of my breaking bondage for this current situation, I was like, I just want to go. I don't give a fuck. You know, I don't want to see any of them. I don't want to be around to see how you punish them. I trust you punish them. I don't want to have them next to me in my energy in any way, shape, or form. I want to start doing my new beginning. But there are certain things which must be balanced, and whatever they did onto you will be returned to them one way or another, either through you, either through people of justice, of making justice, either through other karmics. And God will take his time, believe me. in order to make sure that he balances all of this. From energetic perspective, this makes sense, because whatever energy has been sent towards you, they didn't humiliate you just one-on-one. They drew a lot of people and manipulated a lot of people against you to humiliate you. Yeah, so that energy has to be balanced back. Yeah, before you move into the new timeline, into the new beginning. Otherwise, it's gonna follow you, and other people will do the same to you. Yeah, so it's not a revenge thing. It's part of justice. God is whispering to me. It's part of the justice process of divine justice. If you created something, then you have to swallow it back. You have to feel how that felt. That energy has to be transmuted. And this is also a process of humbling them and teaching them lessons. I'm not quite sure how many of them actually learn those lessons. But in any case, this is the process of divine justice. That certain steps are taken in order for that individual who has been stealing your identity, lying on you, attacking you, trying to kill you, torturing you, and so on and so forth, for that individual to experience what he created. Because certainly there are individuals who learn only if they experience themselves. Yeah, there are many ways in which God has different bonds to pick with different individuals, and I'll give you a few examples. Some of them seem funny to me, although they're not funny. Of course, they have a divine purpose. But for example, God has a big issue with the twin flames who reject their twin flame. This thing with chaser and runner, and this is bullshit. This is created by them. This is the bondage they created, so the twin flames won't come together, or soulmates, or whatever, couples, whatever. So this is not of God. This is not of you. This is programming, yeah, and bondage. But God has a big bone to pick with these ones specifically, and I saw him repeatedly, insistently making sure that the individual who rejected a twin flame or stole, because this happens most often, at least in my experience, that the one who was supposed to be with me, and this is not just one, there are different ones, at one point in time, they not only rejected to be with me, but they made bondage and they created doppelgangers. They got some females to copy me. They taught them how to speak, how to dress, how to look like me. They literally taught them how to become me, yeah, in order to steal my identity. So together they made a business out of it. And they started stealing my business, impersonating me in different ways with different individuals, stealing different career abilities, gifts, so on and so forth from my natal chart. Also an entire industry of how to steal, basically. An entire industry. And still that wasn't enough. They also worked together to kill me. It's not just one couple. There are many couples actually like this because they were not successful. You see, they were not successful, so they kept recreating others, other pair, other couple to do this against me. And many of them have never been with me. But still they watched me and they filmed me even in my courtyard. For a long time I was not aware of it. Or afterwards I saw it and I said, they're just stupid. But actually God revealed to me all of this behind it. So God has a big issue with them. Because it's not just that you didn't want to be with the person that I sent your way. But you try to steal everything from her in order to create with darkness. So you turned against her, you turned against me, you turned against the whole divine realm. And you persisted in this for years and years and years. So although I revealed to you, I healed you, I hoped you, I helped you, she helped you also before I revealed to her who you are. And you still... you continue to steal, you continue to steal, you continue. Why? Because you just wanted to have more, because you wanted to become her, because you were envying her, you were jealous of her. So God has a big issue with individuals to whom he has sent somebody to couple with, to become a couple with, to do together the work of God. And that individual chose not only to reject it, but to turn against it, against that individual, and furthermore, to steal and destroy that individual, to steal from that individual, to destroy that individual, not only the reputation, but physically to destroy and kill that individual, to destroy the reputation, to close all doors, all opportunities, so that individual won't be able to make it. So it's years and years. You look at them when they come to you and they want forgiveness, but otherwise they're truly criminals in the way they think, they plan, and they carry out all of this for years and years and years. So this is one example. And God will make sure, this is one objective he has, to turn the situation in such a way until that individual is healed enough, I would say, yeah, in order to see the reality. And God would be like, I saw him so many times doing this, God would be like, this is what I sent to you, a jewel. And this is what you chose, a rock from darkness with dust and dirt on it. And you wanted to destroy my jewel, which I sent to you, so you can sell to the world this dirt, this piece of dirt, as being my gift to the world. Yeah. So God is going to make sure this moment of truth comes for all twin flames who betrayed, for all karmic partners. Yeah, God will make sure that that individual will feel the regret, the pain, and all related to that. This is God's justice, not for you, but for him, if you can understand it. Because I have seen this. As God was telling to one of them, this is what I sent to you, a jewel. And you took a piece of dirt and you presented to the world as being my gift to the world. And you created darkness upon people using my name and saying that this is divine. So this is between God and them. You must understand. Because God, when he creates couples, twin flames, soulmates, whatever, God creates that couple with a spiritual purpose to do his work on earth. And by rejecting that and creating with darkness and stealing from that, so it's not enough that you reject it. You don't want to go your way and create your own path. You want to steal and destroy that which God was sent to you. And you want to use darkness and the human embodiment, a doppelganger, a copycat, which is dirt, is darkness, because it does prostitution, it does witchcraft on people, it destroys people. This is what you chose to embrace as your partner. Yeah. So, and you present it to the entire community and humankind as being God's gift. This is insulting to God. Not because God has to clean up after you. This is insulting to God because God has to clean up after karmic twin flame does this. Has to clean up and heal all the people that were tricked through this. All the people from whom you succeeded to steal. Not only your twin flame, but you use the energy of the twin flame to steal from others. And to enslave others. And to create addictions on others. And God will have to work years and years and years with each and every single individual to heal them. So this is a thing, it becomes a thing between God and that karmic. You must understand. So this is one part of divine justice. Then God has a huge bone to pick with the doppelgangers and the copycats. Huge, huge. I tell you, this is huge. And I will tell you one thing. one thing why God is has a huge focus on setting the record straight and putting them in their place for many reasons. One of them is the one which I explained before, is because I sent a child of mine, a jewel of mine, into the world to do good, and you, as a doppelganger, aim to destroy that human. You aim to not only tarnish their reputation, but to completely destroy, enslave, and use them, and so on and so forth. But the true bone between God, and this is all of this is from my own experience, and actually God did not guided me to talk about this, but I did ask permission, because personally I found it important to understand this, because sometimes you feel like you don't have patience anymore with this, but I try to give you examples so you'll understand what is involved in this process of divine justice, why it's taking so long. So God, the biggest bone in my perception that God has with doppelgangers, basically, is that they destroyed his warriors. I am telling you, I cannot explain to you. God says this is not true. God whispers to me it's not true. But I believe this is the biggest thing that God has. I'm telling you, because he's always upset. He says, these women destroyed my boys. They were sent into the world to create divine justice on earth. And they are warriors, legitimate warriors who are supposed to carry on wars. And they made them in such a submission and addictions and such that literally they don't even qualify as healers, let alone spiritual fighters and so on. And they have so much amount of fake knowledge imbued in them, and wrong ritualic practices, and so that is, you, if you want to help them, you don't even know where to start to help them. It's so much done on them, and it is done through doppelgangers mostly. Of course, there are also wounds from childhood, as for everybody else, but the most damage is done at adult time, when they made wrong choices with free will. It's not literally free will, because there's a lot of attacks and so on and so forth, but they did choose. Although God showed them repeatedly, they kept choosing the doppelganger, they kept choosing, so on. Anyhow, in my perception, God has the biggest bone with these women. And for this reason, I'll give you an example. There's a circumstance like this. But again, in my case, I have many doppelgangers, because because I practiced celibate for such a long time, that basically they kept sending to me individuals, and I kept rejecting them, but then they would go away, although there was nothing between us, and they will make claim, and they will create a doppelganger. Then they will send another one, and I kept rejecting them. And so I got many doppelgangers and many karmic couples attacking me. Anyhow, I tell you that I've seen this, that God will insist to extend the period of justice making until, and I ask, sometimes I'm desperate because I just want to move on. And God, and I say, how much you still want to do this? Just punish them, finish it, let's move. And God says, no, I want him to see the truth, to see what he lost by rejecting you, or by thinking that he can trick you, and I want him to be the one who rejects her. I want him to reach the point of being so betrayed and so hurt by that doppelganger, which he created, by the way, until he himself refuses to even see that individual. All of this, to me it's funny sometimes, but truly it's a lot to do with healing. Because God, sometimes I get upset and I say, but you don't keep me stuck here and use me for this stupid shit. I don't care for the doppelganger. I don't care for him. I want to go. And God would sometimes show me, if you leave now and you don't stay in order for me to succeed to achieve this, this doppelganger will take the power again over him. And they will start the process once again. And they again will trick people into this. So this is very important. So it really, every single part of it does have a purpose in divine justice, and it has a divine logic, truly. But sometimes to me it just seems funny. And I know that also it's a personal issue for God with these individuals, because I've seen him, how he hurts when he loses one of us, because of these karmics who insist on creating this, which are, many of them are literally doing it for money, for fame, for money, for attention, for being in the spotlight. So God will make sure. And then there's, again, as I said, regarding the doppelganger, basically God says they need to be stripped of each and everything that they stole in order for the bondage to be broken. They need to be revealed to not only to you and to the twin flame which she succeeded to destroy, but also to all the people that were tricked by them, because otherwise they stay under that witchcraft, hypnosis type of thing, under that attachment, under that veil. And I need to remove that. I need to end this. And this individual must see their worth exactly, and must understand the distinction between you and them. So it's important that we end this. It's important to get to the end of it. So there are many other circumstances like this. But God, the whole message is that God has a direct agenda towards the karmics, which many times it is involved with justice for you, but it's mostly focused on healing, broadly speaking, not only on you, healing and justice and balancing the energy and producing change, so that will not repeat itself. So those doppelgangers and copycats who insist on fighting against the obvious, against being exposed, and against divine justice, they literally are under an illusion, because God will never stop. God will not stop. Just 1 second. My puppy wants to play. Shh. Shh. He just wants to play. I took him inside because there's too much darkness attack in my courtyard. And normally those, I only have Lucky with me in the house. But now I had to take them inside, because now, as we are at the end of the bondage breaking and Halloween is close, they are sending so much darkness attack that you can barely stand on your own feet in my courtyard. So I took my dogs inside because they are just simply crazy. And my dogs are sensitive. They cannot stay in that much darkness. And anyhow, this is a parenthesis to explain why because I'm at a distance from him and he wants to reach to me to play with me. Okay, so the topic about the karmics is that God has a direct agenda with karmics, and this is part of the justice making, and it will. I don't know how to say it. It will be part of your experience of when God is making justice to you, even if you don't want to witness it. And like I do, I don't need to witness it. To me, these people, these are not people. First of all, these are not people. These are just some bodies which allowed for darkness to work through them. So it's very simple. And I think I wasted enough time on them in my life. I do want full justice to be made to me, but I don't want to waste time. But God is showing always to me, this is not a waste of time. This is important in order for us to finish the process of making justice, that not only for you, but for everyone involved, and to balance the scale and to show what is the divine will and who is who in this equation. And let me tell you something, this is a gradual process. I have seen, God has shown me recently about two doppelgangers who are neighbors of mine here, right? Watching me constantly. One of them is next door, even sharing a wall with me, listening, watching, filming, taking pictures, sending darkness. It's like a movie. I cannot explain to you. I'm not enjoying it at all. But I think I just sometimes think we need to put some humor into this situation, because otherwise you simply lose it for years and years and years, dealing with this madness and these imbeciles who keep stealing from you and so on. Anyhow, so God has shown me recently, for example, that all of this divine justice and healing that it needs to be done again, not only on you and your attacker, but also on the people that were affected with your energy. Because literally by healing them, God is pulling away your energy, so they will not, these doppelgangers, they use your energy to connect to the large communities. This is what gang stalking is. But they also use people that are not aware and not awakened. So they connect with your energy to them, and then they use them to attack you. So there is a professional gang stalking group, always, but always all of them use as many people as possible. This is what, for example, paparazzis mean for all the divas in Hollywood. Yeah, that's a gang stalking type of energy. So they use the audience as many as possible. Your neighbors, if you live in a block, in a community, your colleagues at work, everyone, they connect from them to you in order to boost the power of their attacks on you, if you know what I mean. So it's a two-way street. They use your energy to reach to them, and then they use them to attack, their power to attack you. Yeah. So God shown me that so it's important to take your energy back from those individuals. Otherwise, you move, even relocate, and they are still feeding on you, because these doppelgangers created these strings between individuals. Yeah, so it's a very large process of cleaning and healing that needs to take place for you to move on. But God has shown to me, for example, that these two doppelgangers witches, which are my neighbors, were connecting with a large community in my area, neighborhood here, during sleep time, you know, and they were harvesting their energy in order to be able to attack me. And also they were placing levitation in their head to hate me, to whatever, to hurt me, to insult me, to whatever. Okay, now God has shown to me basically how these two witches together were going into their sleep mode. We're going to them on subconscious level into their sleep mode. And because of the work I have done in bondage breaking and in carrying the work of God, the word of God, those people on subconscious level, they were all, and God disconnected them from me, they were almost awoken. They basically on subconscious level, God, I guess, healed them. God says it was transmutation through breaking bondage. Automatically they got healed, those that he showed me. And in their sleep, their subconscious was able to fight against them, saying, we want our money back because we know you stole money from us as well, not only from her. She's telling us how to get our money back, but you stole our divine rights as well from all of us. And you've been feeding on our energy. So their subconscious level during sleep time was already fighting. God showed this to me as a reward. God says, God said, let me show you what impact your work has He wanted to reward me, to show me that, and you will see that this is why I insist always that you should connect to God, because it's very, very healing relation that you have. Because he always, for example, finds the time, he says, I know you've been through hell to work with me, but let me take you there to show you the result of your work. So you will see how much good you have done in the world, even if that was not necessarily your initial plan when you started the fighting. But so you will see the result of your work. So God showed me this, and he said, this is the result of your work. You did this. People are fighting for themselves in their sleep on subconscious level. So that by doing that, they are able to defend themselves against the witchcraft which is done at sleep time on them. And these two witches were not only scared, but I don't even know the word to use, were horrified. God is whispering to me, very happy. God is very happy now about this. He was very happy about this situation. That's why he took me to show me. And he's whispering to me, very happy. They were horrified when they saw the reaction of the people, because the people were turning against them and they were not able to harvest energy anymore, And literally, God has shown to me that in many ways, this is the path to end these individuals. When enough people are awake and they have healing on their subconscious level in order to fight for themselves, because they're not able to harvest energy anymore. And you must understand that divine justice is being done constantly, but by harvesting energy from others, they continuously I don't know how to say, heal. You can call it healing, but it's not healing, it's vampirism. It's not a true healing because they simply just feed on that energy. Once you cut that those strings and they cannot feed on others anymore, literally they come back to their own status, which means powerless, and you can see them as they literally turn into a dead body. I'm telling you, this is the image of their energy. When they are in their energy, they look like you. How do you say this in English? Skeleton. A skeleton, like like a dead body which is already past the putrefaction time. It's like a skeleton. This is how their energy looks when they don't feed on others, literally. And if you come close to them, to their energy, makes you feel sick in your stomach. You feel like throwing up, literally. This is the feeling. So this is their true energy. So you understand how much they harvest energy, how much energy they steal from people in order to look the way they look. Just think about that. Yeah. So again, this is all of this, because it's a lot of harm done on a lot of people. Yeah. So all of these are part of God's agenda with karmics. So in order to deliver justice to you from divine realm, all of this has to fall in place and has to develop. There are certain people, individuals with whom God has a personal bone to pick with, because they used his name to do harm unto others. They destroyed and used the name of his messengers and his warriors and his healers in order to do harm on others. Not to mention the type of destruction that they have done and created on those of us who are targeted and fighting. Not to mention, because they do a lot of harm on everyone. But once you start fighting and you start healing yourself, the attacks, I know from experience, become atrocious. Because they stand to lose a lot if others follow you. Yeah. So it's the number one objective is to destroy your reputation. So nobody will believe you. So everybody will think you're crazy. So everybody will turn against you. Maybe this way you get scared if everybody that you know and you encounter turns against you, maybe you get scared enough to stop, Anyhow, this is the message I wanted to pass today. So you will understand that there is, as I said, an agenda which God has with them, which is part of making justice for you. But it's also a work that God does for healing. And I must say honestly that deep in his heart, especially for his warriors, God always has a hope that in this process he can still rescue one of them, namely by them feeling so much remorse when they actually are faced with all of this cold truth about what they have done with cold blood, how criminal they were. Maybe some of them will try to do redemption, will try to get away from this these individuals, these copycats, these doppelgangers, and these organizations. Because it's not only about the doppelgangers, it's about those who pay the doppelgangers to become a doppelgangers, those who actually train them, those who actually give them information, give them money, give them status, give them also material goods, house, car. They gain all of this because they are doppelgangers to you. You see, but there are some individuals higher ups in their hierarchy who pay them, who give them all of this, who support them and cover up for them to do all of this criminal activity, which results in material goods for them. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna stop, and all of this basically needs to be settled. Yeah, in the divine justice, and God will take a personal approach to each and every one of them. Each and every one of them. But also, I have to mention that aside from God, there's also your ancestors. You must know, I have seen my ancestors attacking some of these doppelgangers and this convent, which I have to face here, unfortunately. And some of them, actually, they have a personal issue with them. Because the bondage that I'm breaking was not created fully from the scratch in my lifetime, but in their lifetime. And they're like paying off now to these individuals what they have done against them. Or for example, like it's my ancestor who died when I was like 11 years old, 12 years old or something like this. And he left to me a huge inheritance. All his work from his entire life, everything he owned, everything he saved, everything he left to me. And they stole it. Everything. I didn't see a penny from it. They stole it. Then they stole it a few times in my lifetime. God and my ancestor worked a lot to bring that inheritance to me back. That involves a house, involves a car, involves a lot land, involves a lot of money, huge inheritance. And God and my ancestor worked throughout my lifetime to bring that back to me a few times. And every time they stole that before it reached me, including by bribing the individuals from justice system who were supposed to come to me and present this to me. They convinced them to work with them and to use this doppelganger to sign my name and to do all of this, to steal it again. Many times, not once, many times. Yeah. So I have my ancestor who's actually, I see him when he's attacking her. And he's like, you stole my money. You stole it so it won't reach to her, but those are my money. You don't get, actually, he's calling her bitch. Bitch, you don't get my money. So I'm telling you, the entire divine realm takes opportunity of your bondage breaking to settle scores and balance energy. And all of that is part of the divine justice. All of that is part of the divine justice, yeah? Okay, I'm gonna stop here. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I will be happy to answer. And if you feel inclined to support my channel and my work, you will find my PayPal account in the description box below. Thank you.